Capital News tonight. Government says bridge at Kiegea area in Kilosa to be opened tonight. President Dr. John Magufuli meets and holds talks with 3 opposition leaders. And in sports, 15 women German players from Stanpol FC are in Tanzania after being invited by Simba Queens. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The government has said a construction of Kiegea Bridge in Kilosa, Morogoro region, which was swept away by rainwater, will be completed tonight, being prior measures to ensure vehicles are able to cross from one side to the other of the Morogoro-Dodoma Road.
Jana usiku kuanzia kwenye majira ya saa 2.
Yesterday, at about 8 p.m. we began the process to restore this area so vehicles can get access. I commend peace and security organs in Morogoro for coming here to take care of security. Engineer Fugale, working with his experts and those from the ministry, began the process of restoration. By tonight at 10 p.m. all vehicles will have access.
Nawashukuru sana madereva wale wengi wametii na kubaki huko.
We commend drivers for their patience and the police force for security provided. We hope between 9 and 9:30 vehicles will be allowed to pass.
Hivyo mpaka tutakapokamilisha kazi yote kwa wakati huu.
Travelers from various regions using the Morogoro-Dodoma Road today faced various challenges after the bridge at Kiegea area was swept away by floods caused by heavy rains after they had to use footpath in the forest to cross from one side to the other. However, the situation also offered opportunities to others such as vendors. The Deputy Minister of Works, Transport and Communication, Engineer Elwas Kwandiko, was among leaders who visited the area to witness repair work on the bridge.
I had lemons, but by today afternoon they will be too ripe and will spoil soon. They should have been sold this morning. We've gone through so much inconvenience. We've had to cross over on foot and board another vehicle. We are doing everything to make sure that work goes well. This is now treated as an emergency. As you can see, work is going on.
President Dr. John Magufuli has met and held talks with 3 leaders from opposition parties, Saif Sharif Hamad, Ibrahim Lipumba and James Mbatia, at State House in Dar es Salaam. Speaking after the talks, Saif Sharif Hamad, who is the former first vice president of Zanzibar and advisor of ACT Wazalendo, said that he and President Dr. John Magufuli talked about issues concerning peace, security and unity. On his part, the chairman of CUF, Professor Ibrahim Lipumba, commended President Magufuli for pledging to ensure free and fair elections this year, while the leader of NCCR Mageuzi, James Mbatia, called on politicians and Tanzanians to put national interests before personal gain.
Mimi na Mheshimiwa Rais tumekutana na kubwa ni kuzungumzia mambo ya nchi yetu.
We've spoken about our country's development and for love and peace to reign in our nation. I'm delighted that our president is willing to meet with his people. So I commend the president for allowing this meeting.
Sisi kama vyama vya siasa katika mambo ambayo,
as political parties, in what the president is doing to address corruption, but making sure that government expenditure is above board, and in protecting our country's resources and minerals so it can benefit all of us. but also now education is accessible to every child. What we've also spoken about is that Tanzania belongs to all of us, and we must therefore put patriotism before anything else.
Na tumezungumza na rais kauli yake ambayo alitoa kwa mabalozi.
We've spoken to the President about his statement on ambassadors and that nomination will be free and fair. He has also assured me that his statement was true and that the election will be true and fair. Therefore, it is our right as citizens and those in political parties to make sure that we don't do anything that will disrupt peace. Rather than attacking each other, we must speak positively, and political leaders should focus on things that will benefit the country as a whole.
Kwa ajili ya maendeleo endelevu ya taifa letu.
Heavy rain that fell last night in Lindi Municipal caused floods in some streets and destruction of assets, as well as some government offices. Lindi Region Commissioner Godfrey Zambi has toured areas affected by floods and directed victims to be sheltered at Rahaleo Primary School.
Ni kweli muda masaa kuanzia saa 2 ya jioni ya usiku.
Yesterday at about 8 p.m. there was some drizzling. A short while later we experienced heavy rainfall, so we filled sacks with sand to protect our houses from flooding. Then we went to seek shelter. A lot of our property has been damaged.
Kwa mazingira kama haya ni kwa kweli.
The floods have affected us so much. We ask if the infrastructure can be improved so water can take its course. This is very dangerous. We've complained about the state of this area. As you can see, some houses are eroded.
Kuna watu ambao nyumba zao kama nilivyosema hazikaliki kabisa.
Some houses are inhabitable. One person has died and relatives have taken the body for burial. We ask that those who live along the watercourse to vacate. There is no way you can prevent water from taking its course, no matter how well you build your house.
Mikondo ya maji wahame.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed leaders and executives of Handeni District Council to go to villages and address challenges facing residents. He gave the directive after he was received by residents carrying placards with messages on various grievances while on his way to Handeni District. It is clear that officers don't go to villages to meet the people. You must do so. In 6 days that you are working, 4 should be allocated to village visits. District Commissioner must supervise this. You must go and meet the needs of the people. I don't have to come here and resolve such matters.
Waziri Mkuu, hata hayo maji ukipewa mwenyewe kwenye glasi unywe na imani kabisa hutakunywa.
Honorable Minister, if you are given water in a glass to drink, you will not be able to because it is dirty.
Kagera Regional Commissioner Brigadier General Marco Gaguti has conducted a surprise visit along the border of Mtukula between Tanzania and Uganda to check on the preparedness of government departments against the coronavirus. The tour comes a day after reports claiming 4 Ugandan nationals have been found with signs of coronavirus.
Kwangu kama kamati ya mwenyekiti wa kamati ya usalama ya mkoa ni kuendelea kutoa wito.
We continue to call upon all law enforcement bodies in all areas to control unauthorized movement in our borders. All visitors must use authorized points.
Kipindi cha nyuma upande wa Uganda ulikuwa na wataalamu wa afya, lakini
through meetings, we have been able to bring positive change. There must be a task force in every area to give practical lessons.
Kila mpaka wawepo watu wa kutoa elimu.
The Minister of Home Affairs, George Simba Chawene, has ordered the arrest of a Bulgarian national who had been released by a court in Zanzibar because of lack of a translator in a drug trafficking case against him. Minister Simba Chawene gave the directive at the end of his tour in Zanzibar on security institutions under the union government.
Na ni waziri ambaye anasimamia vyombo hivi ikiwemo polisi ambaye kazi yake ni kukamata watuhumiwa.
We have made the arrest because we believe he still has a case to answer. Even if he's been released, we will continue with the process to make sure justice is served.
Sio tu mtu kuachiwa huru. Haki ni pamoja na mtu kupata adhabu stahiki kwa kosa alilofanya. Hiyo nayo ni haki.
And the Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Hamis Kigwangalla, has said after achievements made in the fight against poaching, priority focus is now on improving conservation and preventing conflict between wild animals and communities. Minister Kigwangalla made the statement during World Wildlife Day at College of African Wildlife Management, Mwika, in Kilimanjaro region.
On the coming budget, institutions such as Ngorongoro, Tanapa, and perhaps TFS, if it is possible to get reserves to begin with, in cases where wild animals have crossed over to residential areas, we will have our own reserves for security purpose and quick response. We have policies that assist us in carrying out duties, and one is on keeping of wild animals in ranches, farms, and gardens, but also policies on wild meat butchers. We're working with communities to protect reserves, which will increase the number of wild animals, and the number of conflicts will also go down.
That is the end of national news. International news follows shortly.
The Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, TCRA, is calling on all TCRA licensed service providers to participate in the TCRA ICT Awards 2020, which aim to award best service providers in the communications sector. TCRA will award best performers in the following categories: mobile network operators, radio and television, online content service providers, multiplex operators, internet service providers, and postal and courier operators. All TCRA licensees are obliged to participate in this competition for the public to evaluate their performance and commitment. Guidelines for participation can be accessed at www.ictawards.tcra.go.tz. All TCRA licensed service providers should submit participation forms by 15th of March 2020. For more information, please call 080-000-8272. Improve life through ICT for industrial digital economy.
And in international news, Parliament in Kenya has banned from traveling a delegation of 15 members of Parliament who were to attend a United Nations conference on women to be held on 9th of March in New York City due to the coronavirus threat, which has killed 6 people so far. The move comes after the UN requested member countries not to send delegates to the 64th UN Women Conference.
There is an additional mask that we are required to procure and we normally stock. That is a surgical mask to be used especially by the doctors. It's one of the N95s. And as the CEO said, we have local manufacturers who have been told not to export anymore. So the 130 per day masks is just one manufacturer. You can imagine what would happen if we are to mobilize all other manufacturers, and we have already reached out. In fact, I had a conversation with my colleague, the Director of Procurement. Today alone, we are procuring 2 million masks.
India, Germany and Iran have reported new cases of the coronavirus as the World Health Organization WHO has warned that the world was in uncharted territory. More than 90,000 cases have been confirmed globally, according to the WHO. The U.S. reported 6 deaths from the coronavirus as the outbreak that started on China continues to spread, and the WHO urges countries to step up containment measures to rein in the infection. And politicians from the northern coast of Kenya have started to differ on the Building Bridges Initiative panel, BBI, which was formed by President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga, with some saying that it was dividing Kenyans instead of uniting them.
Mwaka 2010 tulisukuma tukashindwa kuingiza majimbo.
In 2012, we failed to succeed in any constituency. BBI has come to give us another opportunity in Coast Region. If we say that we need regional governments, it is not something new. But to us, unfortunately, some of our own children condemn this.
Sisi tunaunga mkono vile rais na former prime minister wamepanga.
We are supporting BBI, just as how the President and Prime Minister have organized in uniting all Kenyans, because even at ward levels, everybody is talking about BBI.
Mimi sijaona mtu ambaye anapinga BBI Kenya hii.
So far, I have not seen any Kenyan opposing BBI. Personally, I am supporting BBI since the first draft.
Hii BBI tayari ripoti ya kwanza imeshatoka na sisi tumeiunga mkono.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Stami Gold, a mine owned by the government in Biharamulo area, Kagera region, spends more than 1 billion shillings every month to operate equipment used for gold mining because of the mine does not have electricity.
Sasa tunapojiunga na TANESCO tutakuwa tumepunguza kwa kiasi kikubwa sana matumizi hayo.
When we are connected with TANESCO, definitely consumptions will decrease, and we will be in a position to pay between 300 to 250 million shillings per month. The ratio difference from 1 billion to 300 million shillings is huge, but at the same time 700 million shillings will be saved. The demand is high, and we are capable of handling the needs once our Bulyanhulu project is completed, because that project produces more Producers of the illegal liquor known as gongo, made out of cashew apples, will soon start to benefit after the government in Mtwara region presented samples of the alcoholic drink to the government chief chemist for testing, so that it can be improved on before being put in market for consumption.
What we have failed as a nation is to empower these people. I have personally decided to support them and develop their capacity into making safer products for human consumption. Eventually, someday, they will be able to establish a factory that produces these products. Tomorrow, there shall be a follow-up to all local brewers, so that we could test them and assure the public that they are good raw materials in distillery factories. I am grateful for this initiative because I have never met any leader. We are honored with his visit and advice to us local brewers.
All right, and women in Ruvuma region have called on the government and stakeholders to connect them with their counterparts from neighboring Mozambique and Malawi for trade and business ventures.
Regular meetings and seminars are necessary as a means of connecting us with other neighboring countries like Kenya, Uganda, and Mozambique. Ahead of Women's Day, these exhibitions have allowed us to network with our fellow women entrepreneurs and customers coming from different parts. The exhibitions have begun today and will end on 8th March. They say that if you empower women, you empower the whole community. My fellow women, do not fear. We are confident enough to handle anything. Looking at our top government leaders like our Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan, she has not failed us to date.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
Welcome back, and in sports news. 15 women German players from Santapol FC are in Tanzania after being invited by Simba Queens with the aim of exchanging experience as well as discuss on means of acquiring finances through soccer.
To play in a women's team in Germany, you don't really get any money. You kind of get nothing, and we do it more like for leisure time and for fun. But there are some teams that play roughly and play really, really good in first league and so on. But they have to work and everything, and they train in the evenings and they don't train every day. So I think it's not really comparable because the whole structure is different.
4 sailing national team athletes are leaving for Uganda tomorrow as they head to the International Uganda Leather Open, which starts on Friday and ends on Sunday.
Kikweli sisi tunachukulia kwa uzito mkubwa sababu usalamu huwa zinakuja kwamba Tanzania kila
taking this serious because we hear people saying that Tanzania wins every year. Everyone is looking at us whether this time Hamis or Mwambao or Vedastus or Roland will win. So we are well prepared for that. And the rumors we hear give us pressure to win in this competition.
Musa anafanya vizuri ndio tukaona kwamba hawa ndio watakuwa wametuwakilisha.
The NBA has told players to avoid high-five fans and strangers and avoid taking any item for autographs, the league's latest response in its ongoing monitoring of the coronavirus crisis that has spread to most corners of the planet.
The league, in a memo sent to teams on Sunday, offered 10 recommendations to players with hopes of decreasing risks of getting the virus. Among them, not taking items such as pens, markers, balls, and jerseys from autograph seekers. The NBA also told teams that it is consulting with infectious disease experts, including the Centers for Disease Control and Infectious Disease researchers at Columbia University in New York. Some players are already heeding the advice. Corona Bobby Portis of the New York Knicks said as he offered some fist bumps greetings on Monday night before his team faced the Houston Rockets. Portland guard CJ McCollum said in a tweet on Saturday that he is taking the matter seriously.
Jurgen Klopp has said he would have to be a real idiot to question the character of his Liverpool team after one bad defeat, but immediate improvement on the Watford performance will be essential to overcome Chelsea in the FA Cup. Here are more details.
Liverpool lost the unbeaten Premier League run in starting fashion at Vicarage Road on Saturday and head to Stamford Bridge on Tuesday, looking to avoid a third consecutive away defeat in all competitions. Klopp expected to make several changes for his first FA Cup fifth-round tie believes no Liverpool player performed at their usual level at Watford, but insists faith in a team who remain on course to win the Premier League title in record time is unbroken.
And Daniel Sturridge has been banned from all football-related activity until 17th of June after the FA successfully appealed against his punishment for breaching its betting rules. Here's more.
Former Liverpool striker said he was devastated by the 4-month worldwide suspension that has brought an abrupt end to his time with the Turkish club Trabzonspor. Sturridge was handed a 6-week ban with the final 4 weeks suspended and fined £75,000 last July after being found guilty of providing his brother with inside information on a potential move from Liverpool to Sevilla in 2018. The FA, however, claimed the sanction was too lenient and wanted a 6-month worldwide ban to reflect the seriousness of the case.
Sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.